Hey viewers, Hexcraft here. Before you start, a few things. First off, this is going to be a rambling video, so little edits, not that much done. Yeah, this is just going to be long talking video. And yeah, second off, spoiler warning for Arcane. I'm going to be talking about things in Act 1, Act 2, and the teaser for Act 3, and possibly it's going to happen in Act 3. So if you haven't seen the new season yet, go watch it. Finally, this is a theory video, so a lot might be wrong, some might be right. These are just theories I had, and yeah, it's multiple theories because I'm splitting this into basically a long video of multiple theories I had. I'll put a little text, probably in one of the corners, saying which the theory's name is, so you can keep track of when a new one is being talked about. So yeah, just a quick little thing, yeah. Anyway, out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, so before we get into the major big first theory, I need to run down Magic, which, no disclaimer, Magic in League is weird. We know it mainly from champions' bios, comments, new lore, old lore, and even the main concept of Magic came from a tweet that was said not to be fully credible. But I'm going to go over what we have and theory craft some parts here and there for things that don't fit. Starting off, spiritual magic. Spiritual magic is more so from the body in the form of person, magic flowing through an individual. In certain aspects, very much spirit-related and emotion-related. Soul magic is basically branches into ruination, necromancy. Ruination, different than necromancy because it's not really the bringing back the dead. It seems to be more manipulating the spirit and the soul via dread and sorrow. Because again, the champions who were corrupted by ruination didn't die. They were just changed and they came back. Necromancy is straight up dead bodies, soul manipulation. Mordekaiser, binding himself to his armor, turning those sorcerers and necromancers that summoned him into his weapon. Stuff like that. Emotion-related stuff is more so dream magic, music magic, so Sona's magic, and Wei's painting. Another thing about spirit magic is spiritual creatures, Yordles being pure magic related to spiritual stuff, and demons being very much spirit magic as well. However, they changed over time, being more corrupted. As we know, shadow magic is still considered demon magic. Hasn't really changed too much since. Two more magics that are technically not really fitted here well is card magic and illusion. Card magic is here because it is the closest one out of the three types of magic, and it fits the best. However, there's another thing I'll talk about later that might be where card magic comes from, and if it is, that's pretty cool. Illusion magic, it only really fits in spirit. Now, at first thought, light magic, illusions, light illusions, that. But then I realized Yordles with glamour, Shaco and other demons with their illusions, dream illusions, the visual, musical effects, the art flowing through visually. Sometimes these are not physical things, but illusions. So yes, illusions fit better in spirit than elemental, which is the next category. Elemental magic. Air Jana, water Nami, fire Brand. Elements, basically. Nature plus magic. Which we'll talk about nature actually in a second, because that's a weird topic. But yes, not all elemental magic, though, is from just straight up elementals, by the way. For example, Annie technically has Tibbers, who is a fire demon. So yeah. Another part of elements, though, are the old gods. Old gods basically are tied to the elements, not really celestials, which are a different thing entirely. The old gods are tied to the elements. Fun fact, Jana would technically classify as an old god for air. She was not ascended and doesn't seem to be a celestial. So yeah. But yeah. Old gods are tied to their elements. Fire for Ornn, Volibear lightning. True ice is technically different than normal ice magic. True ice comes from Anivia and can only be really used by Iceborns. And dark ice is basically a corrupted true ice, corrupted with the void, which we'll talk more about later. Nature magic is weird. It is sort of a mix. And at first, that sounds weird, because element, nature, should just be that, right? But we have champions that are kind of a mix. Again, Ivern's whole nature magic seems more spiritual. Most of Ionia's nature magic is spiritual. But then you have Zyra, who is just pure elements. So yeah, nature I feel like is a sort of weird mix. Next up is Celestial, which these comes from the Celestial realm. Magic of that aspect. Creatures such as Soraka and Bard, Aurelian Soul and the other Astral Dragons, and then the aspects. Humans were given powers by celestial beings. Ascended are kind of a mix. They use elemental magic to basically take celestial magic and ascend. Darkins are corrupt ascended, who then created Fleshcraft. And I say they created Fleshcraft because they seem to be the origination of flesh crafting. And it's interesting because it sort of goes the concept similar to how the void changes the body through corruption, that they basically took that and made their own variant in magic, which is cool. Which we see some of it later also in Noxus, it seems, with things like the Grey Legion and the creation of Briar, which is also tied to hemomancy, blood magic. Creating a homunculus refers to basically using blood. And the Grey Legion and Scion are powered by blood magic, sort of another form of necromancy. Now, with this quick rundown, you'll notice there's things are missing. Arcane's show's main element of Hextech's missing, so is rune magic, and where does Silas fit? Well, rune magic is raw. It's using runes to pull raw magic. Hextech is very much so a renaming of rune magic, probably more because the people didn't like the concept of magic in Piltover. They're probably more willing to accept it if they called something different and treat it different. So yeah, world runes basically, again, are a powerful rune coming from rune magic. But where does this raw magic come from? I believe Arcane will be revealed to be pure, uncut, raw magic that is currently not flowing as much into the world as it used to. I believe the Rune Wars is why magic isn't as big as it used to be. It's still there in some parts of the world and story, but I believe it'll be bigger after the events of the show, which we'll talk about in a moment. Because before we get into that, I want to bring up something as well. Because people point out, like, well, Arcane can't be pure magic. We seek void corruption wherever it goes. That's the thing. From the old information we have, we know void is anti-magic in concept. Arcane being pure magic in concept. So what if the void and the arcane are opposites? They're basically two opposite forces, matter and antimatter kind of concept. The anti-magic and the pure magic. This also makes sense because, again, the void in the story was darkness until there was this bright light and all these feelings finally creeping in creation. That was Arcane. That was light. And on top of that is them the void corrupts the magics of Arcane, which I believe that's what's happening also in the show. Because I believe, as I already mentioned, that mages using pure arcane seems to always bring destruction. I think those events he was referring to might be mages using magic to summon the void. And that arcane, as is right now, such an abundance in a world currently lacking, is almost like a beacon for the void. Especially when people mix it together with shimmer, which we theorize is void related. So I believe Arcane and the void are connected, and the void sees Arcane as a beacon, something they want to destroy. And again, pure Arcane, I believe another concept is going to be Silas, who seems very much to also be able to use all the elements and magic types, as seen in cinematics and in stories. On top of that, I believe card magic could also be a form of rune magic, sort of the cards having runic symbols on them that induce these magic spells. Again, you can't cast the cards, so it makes sense. Card magic could actually be runic magic. And probably thinking, Arcane, how could it be all the magics? What signs have we seen? Well, emotional reacting, such as spiritual magic, and also reacting straight up in similar ways of manipulating bodies and forms, just like spirit. Elemental, it manipulates nature and such, we've seen that. Celestial, Viktor's little astral mental plane fits it well. I believe Arcane will be shown to be pure raw magic. And the series, I believe, will end with Arcane being awakened in the world again. This will have good things, such as Lux awakening her light magic, other characters being born with their magics, magic flowing in places and blossoming again. Again, there are places in the world that were mentioned to already have magic, and some people already have their magics. But I believe magic will grow because of this, and there will be consequences. The influx of magic, I believe, would give Riot the chance to write a story that basically shows the awakening of Arcane, giving all these characters their powers, and cool things happening in the world, but also bad things. It could start the portal down below to the Spirit Realm and Mordekaiser could flicker, giving the Black Rose a reason to branch out more, to gather artifacts, to create monsters, to build the school to train the kids in magic. Hence why the arcane is flowing in them, because Arcane happened. They're being born with magic, make the school, to weaponize them. Hence why they also might go after other places and invade them for that power and those artifacts. Another concept as well being that this could be what causes the ice in Freljord holding back the Watchers to start to crack. On a slighter, small note, this could possibly, again, this is theory, because we don't know when the first harrowing begins. This could be what starts the harrowings as well. The idea that raw magic amplified all these things. But yes, first theory, Arcane is pure magic, it's the opposite of the void, and by the end of the series, it'll be alive in the world again, and it's all Jayce's fault that all these things are happening. This next theory is sort of a mix of two theories, technically. First off, clearly showing the Singed and Ambessa's relationship, business relationship, I mean. This is showing signs of Singed working with Noxus, which gives off the hint this is taking place before the war in Ionia, which I believe the Black Rose's push for power and artifacts, because of the last theory I gave, will be because of that and start the invasion. Singed will make the weapons. And that the show Arcane takes place before the war in Ionia. Meaning, currently, Darkwell is in charge of Noxus, not Swain. On top of that theory, I like to point out the fact that why is Singed gonna turn super evil and make chemical weapons? He's making drugs, yeah, but weapons of war crimes related? I believe Viktor will cure his daughter. but she is filled so much with shimmer and all these other chemicals that she will not come back herself. She'll be a blank machine. And that will drive Singed insane and make his monsters and his chem weapons. The reasons why I think Oriana is going to be created by Viktor, mainly because Viktor's followers show silver and gold in their healed wounds. What does Oriana's colors look like? A sort of silver and gold look. So it makes sense. Viktor will heal Oriana. Oriana will help yourself. Singed will go depressed and insane. And Singed will basically make weapons. Side note, I love how they actually combined Oriana's original father's lore with Singed in a way. The idea that he's doing this all for his daughter, but then we'll have a breakdown probably and go evil. It's a cool concept. Small side thing as well. Singed in the flash of the daughter reading to her. I'm pretty sure that story is about Viego, which is pretty cool because it very much hints at the wording leading to that. Another small, quick thing as well. Singed will turn Inves's bodyguard into Urgot. I've had this theory since season 1. There's just so many small details that just fit, and seeing as the lore has changed for a lot of champions, they could change it that Urgot got turned into Urgot before the war in Ionia. Again, there's a few similarities they have, both loyal to the Noxus regime, both are very powerful and strong, and both are basically fucked up in Zaun. So yeah, makes sense. And before someone says he's fucking dead, so was Vander. We have Singed. And Besta has Singed. Case in point. Side thing as well. This is a friend's theory. After seeing the events of Warwick's rampage and all that, the Black Rose will take inspiration from that and create Briar and other homunculus attempts. That's not my theory. Both my friends thought it was cool. Thought out of here. Okay, now the last big one. This theory goes against everything everyone else is saying because I full-heartedly believe Jayce is in the wrong. I believe the Hextech core evolved. As they mentioned, is creating runes faster than them. And previous theories, it being pure magic and the opposite of the void, once Shimmer was added, it evolved to combat Shimmer and purge the void, as people theorize Shimmer has void in it. So, I believe the core evolved with Viktor's body to purify void corruption. And I believe, due to the connection, the beacon that the portal became, I believe Jayce, when he was teleported, did not go into the future like people say. I believe that he was teleported somewhere else and made to think he was sent to a dystopian future by the void. Now, people say, how did he grow a beard in that short time? It was a month plus, it seems. They even talk about how it's been almost a month and it's been weeks and such. He was gone for a while, so it makes sense. Remember, he disappeared at the same time as Mel. So, yeah. Very much so. I would say Jayce has been touched by the void during that time. Hybringer and Echo, I think, were teleported maybe somewhere else. Hence why we see them basically trying to create the hex core and such, and they don't seem as fucked up as Jayce. Again, we see signs of Echo for the next act, and he doesn't seem as fucked up as Jayce is, almost like he didn't get sent to the same place. He got sent somewhere else. I believe Jayce got teleported to the void. More so, the idea that the core there is corrupted by the void, unlike the hex core. Again, signs shown in his weapon and in the voices in his head. They even mention that when he comes back, Viktor and Sky talk about how what they saw from the portal, and they refer to it as a portal, they heard a voice, something ancient. And then he mentions how it is building itself and destroying itself. Almost like how Vel'Koz's ray is supposed to be destroying something and then making it into data for him. Chaos, the void. But to be fair, chaos is both arcane and the void, so yeah. But I do think it's the chaos, the void here. I believe Jayce was touched by the void. The void manipulated him to destroy Viktor and the arcane, because Viktor was one of the few things that threatens the void's goals. The headaches always occurred when he saw monsters, for example. The voice in his head's pushing him to do these things. And on top of that, Jayce seems to be pushing for something big, it seems, in Act 3. Something to stop Viktor. Viktor seems like he's trying to do something as well. Because from how it mentions in the Act teaser, Viktor and Jayce might have a conflict. Jayce believing Viktor's the head of this conflict, which I believe might lead into the cause of Arcane being awoken. Because I believe the voices in his head are tricking Jayce. He is going to offer an idea to stop Viktor by weaponizing the portals of the Hexgate, which he thinks will stop Viktor. However, I believe it is going to be the void tricking him into creating a new void rift. I believe Viktor is going along with Mbessa and Singed to stop Jayce, to purify his mind, and to basically help his old friend and stop him. Viktor also probably trying to destroy that gate stone, which might cause a blast of Arcane, awakening the Arcane. I believe while the final big clash of Noxus versus Piltover is happening, the real battle for the fate of Piltover will be Viktor and Jayce. One being basically puppeted by the Arcane, which I will say now, I'm not saying the Arcane is the good side. It is puppeting Viktor probably at some point. And it's pushing him to destroy the void. But I believe that is how it's going to happen. The void is going to use Jayce to open a rift. Viktor is going to try to stop him. And it's going to be shown to us as Jayce is in the right, Viktor's in the wrong, until the end. And that'll do it. This was long. My throat actually hurts a bit from this because I've re-recorded this like 20 times each. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it. Again, these were simple theories. Not too much work in the edit departments here and there. But yeah, if you liked, share and leave a like if you will. Comment down below your theories or your thoughts. Hope you're enjoying the show. Subscribe if you will for more content. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Anyway, peace.